This is take one. This is for my records. So when I want to go find a tape someplace I want to give somebody or whatever, I have this on the tape at the beginning as a marker. This is Christmas Day, 1995. What we're going to talk about here briefly for about 10 or 15 minutes, and then I have other tapes for you to watch about what I'm talking about right now. And that's about it. So this here is like a little Christmas present that I'm making for my family and some close friends of mine that I'll be seeing today. I'm going to make a couple copies of these up while I'm working on a project here. I have a lot of junk that's in my way here right now because I'm in the process of putting a pool table, a full-size pool table, in my upstairs, and that's a heck of a project. And one of the reasons why I'm undertaking this is because of the effect of what this algae has done for me. Now, a lot of people are cringing, saying, algae, ooh, slime, stuff that they kill in swimming pools. Yes, that is one kind of algae, but there are also many, many other different kinds of algae, which I have tapes from this company that I'm involved in that I can get for you. So look on your list that I probably gave you, or call me up. And by the way, my phone number is 731-4446, and it's area code 216. My name is Al Lauerhass, Lauerhass. Okay? I have an answer machine on all the time. Call and leave a message. Don't call and then hang up or whatever. Also, say what you're calling about. Just say, hey, Al, I saw your tape and I want more information on the algae. Give me a call back. Leave your phone number, and I'll get back to you, or somebody else who's working with me who returns my phone calls, my secretary, will get back to you. Now, what this algae does, when you take this stuff just like vitamins. In fact, it will replace all vitamins that you are taking. In fact, you won't need your vitamins anymore. You throw them all away. You won't need them. Of course, talk to your doctor first or whatever. Of course, a lot of the doctors won't want you to stop taking their prescription pills or whatever. So, of course, you start taking. I'm talking about supplements that you really don't have to have, but you're buying because you want to keep yourself healthier. What I'm telling you is, when you take this algae, you don't need it. This has everything in it. And these tapes I'm going to give you to look at or whatever backs up and proves all this. But all I can say is this. I started taking this algae back in, so I just looked at the contract that I had with the company when I started. I signed a contract on 8/2/95. 8 is August. And the time I got my order, I had my order in less than a week. So around the 10th of August, I got on this. So let's put down 8/10. And today is 25th of December, so that's 12/25. So if you subtract these, let's put the 12/25 on top here. I've been basically on algae for about 4 months, 15 days. Okay? So I've been on it for a third of a year. Now, this is very, 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 very important. Before you take this algae and everything, I want you to get a couple tapes from me. One is how the algae is going to react with you, how it might react with you, and all the things that you should expect when you start to take this stuff. Now, this algae affects everybody differently. This is natural food. This isn't anything dope or anything like that, which is explained on the tapes that I will make up, or the company that I work for. Now, I can't say the name of this algae for copyright reasons. In fact, I have to do some research and get copyrights on my films that I make for my protection, so people can't take some of my films that I've made and go out and copy it and end up making money by not me getting my percentage of the business for the tape that I make up, okay? Now, algae has solved a lot of my problems, physical problems. I have, basically overall, I have more energy, physical and mental energy. My attitude, okay, so let's put this down. I have more physical energy. More mental energy. I can concentrate easier on what I'm doing. My thoughts are clearer. In fact, this pool table situation I'm doing here right now, I had to do a lot of things in order to accomplish this mission. Usually when I get involved in something that's very complicated, figuring things out, clearances, measurements. I find myself making less mistakes when I do something. I approach a problem in designing something much quicker, much faster. My insight has been increased. Insight into situations and how to solve problem solving. Remembering. I remember less. Remember less. No, I remember things. I forget less. That's what I wanted to say. So my memory has increased. Memory, which is the same thing as memory. Okay, remembering things. Body fat. Not that I was really heavy before, but right now I am 20 pounds less in weight than I was before I started taking the average. My average weight was about 185 to 190. I'm about 5'10" and a half. Okay, let's say 5'11". Okay. I now weigh approximately about 165 to 170 now. That's my body weight. I'm much stronger. My strength, like I said, my physical, not only more physical energy, but my strength has greatly, greatly increased. My physical strength, the amount of pull-ups I can do, the amount of sit-ups I can do, the lifting things, the type of, if I'm working in concrete work, which is very, very heavy work, everything is easier. So your physical energy is not only increased, but your strength is increased. I'm just saying how it's affected me, okay? Now, I don't know what this stuff is going to do for you. Now, one of the reasons why, when I started taking these pills, I believe, the algae pills, there's different types of pills, too, in these algae. There's enzyme pills, which helps make everything else that you eat besides work better. You get more of it into your system. Also, there's a certain type of E. coli bacteria that you plant into your intestines. Now, it sounds kind of gummy and everything, but we do have bacteria living in our small intestines. And we don't have the right kind because our food is too processed, too sterilized, and all the water that we're drinking, there is no algae in it because it's all killed by the chlorine that's put in it. More about that later in other tapes that I make about the chlorine. The chlorine is actually slowly killing you. It's killing cells in your body because what it's doing is killing algae in the water. So your body has to get rid of all the dead cells that this chlorine in the water that you're drinking is hurting your body. So it lowers your immune system, and instead of your body spending time on making you feel better and having more energy and everything, it's doing repair. Trying to get rid of all the dead cells that this chlorine in the water that you drink kill. So you're lowering your immune system because you can't put all the energy into taking care of maybe some germs and viruses or something like that happens to be attacking your body at this time. So it solved a lot of other problems that I had. I had bad athlete's feet that I had to keep in check all the time. I used to soak my feet a lot in raw garlic, ground up in water, and that just helped kill the bacteria on my feet. Very economical way to do it. I know it sounds kind of old-fashioned or whatever, but it works. I found this out in my studies and listening to certain talk show hosts, medical people, Dr. Dean Adele on radio. I learned a lot of stuff from him riding around in the car to and from work listening to him. So he's the one who put me onto this soaking your feet or any other skin blemish in garlic juice. I'm not talking about this garlic powder stuff that you buy in the store. I mean, I'm talking about the real cloves of garlic cut up. And I have a whole tape on garlic, so anybody who wants to know about garlic, you got to get my garlic tape. Now, so I have less body fat. I feel stronger. I have more mental energy, physical energy. Now, when you first start taking the algae, it depends on how polluted your body is. By that, I mean how bad your eating habits are, what type of wrong foods that you are eating, like your high-fat stuff or whatever. What the first thing this algae is going to do in your system is start cleaning things up and throwing poisons that aren't supposed to be in your body out. Now, what will happen is you may have a bunch of different reactions. Now, I have 3 or 4 people who have tried the algae already. We're going to start with the number one person who I know a lot about. Me. How the algae affected me is that the first day I took it. Oh, let me get back to this thing again. 1, 2, 3, 4 here. Number one, you have a couple pills that you're going to take. These are bacteria or let's say intestine setup. So what you want to do on an empty stomach, the instructions are on the bottle, you take 2 of these enzyme pills, and you take them with a couple of big tall glasses of water. Now, if you don't have a water filter to take the chlorine out of your water, I'm telling you, go out and get one. It's the best investment you're ever going to make. In fact, I sell them, so get a hold of me. I sell these water purifiers. Okay? Number 2, you're going to get that chlorine out of your diet. Make it so your body can heal now instead of keep on maintaining. Number 2, when you eat your food or whatever, there's an algae pill number 1. This is for physical energy. And there's an algae pill number 2, which is for, I said physical here, this is for mental. In other words, it has a certain mixture in it that affects the neurons or the body, certain part of your digestive system, to give you, in those areas, increased energy. Now, also, to make all this work better, you need enzymes. So these enzymes will go in there and make everything work better. So there's basically 4 types of pills. You take this first thing here in the morning, 20 minutes before you eat anything, on an empty stomach with water. And then when you eat your food, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, you take these pills. And there's all different type of plans. When you get your kit, our company gives you plan A, plan B, plan C, depending on what you want to do, what kind of results you want, what results you want faster. If you want to economize, you can go a little bit slower. But this is what I tell people to do when you start off. Start off very, very slowly so you don't have a violent reaction to this stuff. By violent, I don't mean going into convulsions. Now, how it's happened to me is I took the pills the first day according to a progressive program, which I'll talk about it on another tape if you're more interested in that, how to set up things. Now, what it did with me is the first day, nothing. The second day, my feet started itching so bad. Like I told you about the athlete foot problem. They itched so bad, I wanted to peel the skin off of them like a banana peel. Okay? So I was soaking my feet in garlic juice and doing everything. For the first 3 days, I was on this stuff. I kept on taking the algae. Okay? Because I know. I'd done research. And I was actually happy that this was happening. Okay? After 3 days, the itching stopped. And now, I used to be on a maintenance program where I had to soak my feet when I had my feet in shoes a lot, especially during the summertime, or even during the wintertime. I would have to soak my feet in this garlic water and juice and stuff. Because I'm on an algae on a regular, daily basis, day in and day out. It's part of my food supply. That's it. It's just like drinking water, breathing air. I take the algae on a regular basis to my food. What happened is my weak point, or the point that it got everything out of my body, was out through the pores of my feet. Now, another lady who took it, she was an older lady, she's like around 65. I told her that she might have some type of reaction, but just be patient. Just hang in there, and whatever reaction you're going to be having, it should get less and less and less each day that you do it. Now, I told her about my feet thing. So you may experience some itching somewhere, maybe your feet like me, or your skin, or maybe someplace else, who knows? Another guy that I gave it to, who was an older guy, I know some people are watching this and they say older, and then I put an age on here, and here they're older than what this is, they're going to feel real bad. He's in his 70s. He's around 75. What happened to him is he had a little bit of diarrhea. Okay? He got a little bit of looseness there. So, in other words, it's cleaning up his system through the digestive system. It's getting it out that way. There's all different ways to get poisons out of your body. Okay? Another person I gave it to, this lady over here, she had mild itching over her skin. Not enough to, it was driving her crazy for a little while, but I said, just hang in there. Every day it should get a little bit less. It may get worse, maybe for you, because your system works a little bit slower. It may be a week before it goes away, but by the 5th and 6th day, you should see it starting to be less. Well, sure enough, that's what happened. She had mild itching was the main reaction, but she felt better. She had more mental energy, she had more physical energy, and her whole overall well-being is better. Oh, that's another thing I want to mention. What this does, this algae, it makes you less negative. It gives you a better attitude. It chemically changes something in your brain, besides being mentally more alert and more mental energy besides physical energy, it changes your attitude adjustment. You're not quite as negative. You see a little bit more of the better things in life, more than what you saw before. You got to experience this. So this is what I tell people to do. I have the pills. You don't have to sign up with the company and pay your $25 to get your membership, once-in-a-lifetime membership, and go mail off for your $150 startup kit, which will give you enough pills so you can go for about a month and a half or whatever, or 2 months. Depends on how you want to stretch the pills out. At this time, what I do is for $35, I give you a 2-week supply of all the different 4 pills that you need. I'll instruct you on how to take them or whatever, and also I'm accessible for you for feedback. So if you are experiencing a certain problem or whatever, not that I'm a doctor, all this is food. There's no prescription drugs or anything in this stuff. In fact, when you get these bottles, you can see all the stuff that's on the side. And it's all perfectly balanced for your body, by the way. It's balanced in nature exactly the way your body's supposed to have it. And this is why you feel so good, because this is the food that you should be eating instead of the garbage and the processed and the cooking food and boiling and sterilizing and canned and meats. We're not supposed to be eating all our stuff. Our digestive system is not designed for that. Okay? It can handle it through evolution and through different things that our bodies can adapt to. We can handle these poisons. But what it's doing is it's not handling it very well, because right now we have the highest indice in the world, the United States, for cancer and all kind of other disorders. Because your other underdeveloped countries don't have the privilege of chlorinized water. Some people don't have access to the type of food, meat and everything like we do. Their diet has to be more vegetable because they're living off of the land. So they are not putting in the luxuries of life, but also they're not putting in the poisons of life either. So I have a whole other tape on that. Sometimes the poorer you are, the better you eat, because you can't afford the expensive stuff, which is probably less good for you. Okay? Now, that's what I do. This way you can try it out. Usually you have a little bit of discomfort for the first week, and then you're going to start feeling better. But you have to give it a shot. If you're going to say to yourself, oh, this stuff isn't doing anything for me, you do it on 2 weeks, and you don't stick on the regular program, you skip the day or whatever, forget it. You have to be consistent. You have to think of this as a job. If you don't show up for work every day, well, it used to be in the old days, okay, in the days when you didn't have trouble with all these legal ramifications and everything. If you go to work your standard 5 days, you get a paycheck every Friday, or every other Friday, or however the company has it set up. You start missing days. You miss a day here, and you say you only work 4 days that week, your paycheck's going to be smaller. So in other words, you understand this week you only work 2 days. You work Monday, Tuesday, and then you take blow off Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, okay? Your paycheck's going to get very small. There's no reward. The weeks still go by, but you have less money at the end of the week, and you go, hey, this ain't worth it, man. I'm not making any money on this job. Well, of course not. You don't show up for work. How can you make money if you don't show up for work and be scheduled like you are? And if you goof up enough, I'm just making an analogy here. If you goof up enough and miss so much, the company's going to fire you. In other words, what's going to happen is, if you don't try this plan to be consistent with it, you're not going to give it a chance for yourself to see any effects on yourself. You have to be consistent. So try it for 2 weeks. Most people, it would take about 2 weeks. At the end of the second week, you would notice an overall difference in yourself. And if you want, I don't care what you tell me. If you want to lie to yourself and say, oh, this doesn't do it, whatever, if you set out to say this stuff isn't going to work and you have a mental block, it's not going to work. But I'm not saying you have to have a positive attitude. What I'm saying, you have to have a trying attitude. Try it. I'm telling you, it's for your benefit. And this is what is done for me. Now, a lot of people know Al is trying to get ahead. Al is trying to make money. Well, how much does this cost you, Al, once you get on a regular basis? I can tell you what it cost me. I'm going to tell you what it will probably cost average people because of their eating habits. They're going to have to eat more of the algae than I do. People say, well, why? What's so special about you? What's so special about me is not me. It's just that I have a very, very, very good habit that I developed because I was having a lot of physical problems. I wasn't feeling so good. I was having a lot of constipation, just low energy, a lot of cramping, aching, and everything. And I, for happen chance, got listening on a radio show, and a guy, a juice man guy, was on there talking about juicing. So what I started doing is getting myself on a high intake of natural juices on a daily basis, sometimes 2-3 times a day. I got almost instantaneous results in 2 to 3 days for certain things. Like the constipation was relieved or eliminated. My taste and amount of food that I ate went down dramatically. I used to be an eating machine. I could eat all the time. Never gain any weight. A lot of people like to kill me, okay? Always hungry. Always hungry. Started juicing. I now ate 1/5 to 1/6 as much as I used to eat before. Yes, I am not exaggerating. I now eat 1/5 of what I used to eat. The cost of the food that I ate, of course I'm buying more fruits and vegetables, but those are cheap compared to the little pizzas and steaks and beef and stuff like that. So I substituted the juice, fruits, and vegetables more by juicing them. I took away from this more expensive stuff, which you're not supposed to be eating anyway. Not that much of, like your dairy products, your cheese. But my craving for cheese, I always had trouble getting rid of that. I had big craving for candy bars. You know those big candy bars, the ones about that big? The 1-pounders? Especially the ones with almonds in them? I used to inhale those. I would have to eat at least one of those a day, if not 2 or 3 of them. I'm telling you, I was addicted to them. I had to have my chocolate, my sweets. As soon as I started juicing, all gone. You can put a candy bar right in front of me now. I have no desire for it. Because by doing the juicing, my body is getting what I was trying to manufacture out of this candy bar. My juicing takes care of all that. Okay, now let's get to the point real quick here, and then we'll get these other films going in front of your face. So, I lowered my volume of eating and changed my cravings for the better stuff, and it's saving me money, and I'm feeling better. I'm juicing. But I wasn't 100%, and things weren't just right. I had a craving for cheese. Real bad craving for cheese. I could sit down and eat a pound of cheese in front of you in a matter of 2 minutes. So in the process of a job that I have, I talk to a lot of people on a daily basis, on the weekends, on a weekend job, selling this energy bar stuff. And I start talking to people about health and everything. So when the guy is out with his wife and she's doing the shopping, he comes over and they talk to me to pass the time. So this one guy told me who knew a lot about nutrition. In fact, I'll talk more about this guy later. He's going to be like my little silent partner here, teaching me a lot of stuff. He said, add tofu. I don't know how you spell it like that. Well, I'll do it phonetically. T-O-F-U. Add tofu to your juice, whatever you juice. Fruits, vegetables, whatever. You can mix it either way. You can put it in with your fruits, your bananas, oranges, grapefruits, or you can put it in with your onions, garlic, celery, carrots, beets, cucumbers, whatever else you're grinding up for your root group. I did it. Tofu is very expensive, especially if you eat it on a regular basis, and I eat a big container every day. I usually juice twice a day, so I eat a half. Okay, I don't know how much is in there. I think it's 4 ounces. I forget. I usually put half of it in my first juice I make for the first half of the day, and the other half in the rest of it. So I was going down to the food terminal and buying this stuff by the case. Sure, I could buy it for half the price than what it cost me in the store. But when I got in the algae, now by taking the tofu, it worked. My craving for cheese almost dissipated and went away, but it took a long time. It took about 2 to 3 weeks eating this tofu adding this tofu to it until I started seeing my craving for cheese go down a little bit. I got an algae, the big A. Okay? Inside of a week, I happened to run out of tofu. It just happened that I ran out of tofu a week into the program. I didn't change anything in my eating habits at all. What happened was, I was busy, I was involved in a project, I was doing this and that, and I was really working a lot. I was working construction, I was working my other job. I was working about 50 hours a week, and I was feeling better on all these jobs because I've been on algae after the first week and a half. I didn't go down and renew buying the tofu. I didn't go down and buy the carrots at the food terminal like I used to because the freeway is out now, and it's too hard to go down there and everything, so I just paid a little bit more for my carrots and celery by buying them in a store around here. So, I didn't have a craving for cheese, and I wasn't eating tofu. I said, I know the lag effect on this. In 2 to 3 weeks, I'm going to be wanting to eat cheese like crazy because I'm not eating my tofu. So I just kind of like said that to myself and just put it in the back of my mind. But I didn't want to go downtown and fight all that traffic and all that stuff. And I didn't want to pay the higher price that it is in the store. Well, 3 weeks went by. Craving for the cheese didn't come back. The algae took care of that. So it took care of that craving for the cheese, and my juicing took care of the craving for the sweets. Handy. Now, the reason why the algae works so much faster for me is because I combined both of the problems that I solved, also give me more energy, and if I juice and take the algae together, the benefits are much quicker and faster, and you use less of the algae because you're mixing it with juicing. So all the stuff that's in the algae makes everything in the juice work better in your body besides all the food that you eat. Algae makes everything work better. So I can get away with the amount of pills that I take on a monthly basis. I can get away for $50 a month. That's all I need. If I eat too much of the algae, I can't sleep at night. It keeps me up. So I basically juice depending on my days. My sleeping patterns are weird because I do night shift work and stuff. So I usually juice once a day at least. But I will only take my algae pills at my noon feeding, which is usually my breakfast. Or late brunch. 10 or 11 is usually my breakfast. That's my morning for me. Because if I take it at 4 or 5 at night, when I come home, I can't go to sleep because I have too much energy in me and I keep up. But I've been using it that way on purpose lately because I have projects I've been working on that I want to do. So in other words, how much it's going to cost you depends on how your eating habits are and how far you are away from the mark. The farther away, the more poisons you have in the system and the more the foods that you're eating that you shouldn't be eating, the more algae you're going to have to take to counteract this. So you can start building instead of maintaining. That's the whole key. I have tapes that I go into this extensively. My little computer printout that people will be getting with my tapes will show you all the different stuff that I have available for you. Now, a lot of people don't want to watch me. A lot of people like me. They think I'm entertaining. They love it. Okay? If you want tapes from the company to talk about this algae and other professors getting on there, not that I'm a professor, I mean other professors talking about the algae, renowned scientists, researchers, and all of this, I have these tapes. I'll run them to you. Okay? I have this. Some people are going to be interested in certain areas or whatever. Again, I am not a doctor. I am not giving any prescription drugs. All I'm talking about is adding algae to your diet, which is just saying start eating more carrots, which is also what you should do anyway. Celery. I'm going to add these pills to you, but it's very, very easy. It doesn't take much effort to unscrew a bottle and take these pills 2 or 3 times a day. Now, you people who aren't going to juice and you're not going to clean up your diet a little bit or whatever, you're going to have to take more algae. You're going to have to take about $100, $150 a month worth of stuff, and maybe you might get some of the results that I get because I juice and I take $50 worth of pills. So it's up to you. People say, well, Al, even $50 a month. We know you. You're not going to spend that kind of money on that. I'm saying it cost me $50 a month to buy the pills. What I don't eat, like the cheese and the other stuff that I don't have a craving for anymore because I'm eating the algae, I'm actually saving, making money. Because I eat less of all the stuff that I was fighting and didn't want to eat, but I ate because I had a taste for it. I'm actually saving money by buying my $50 worth of algae per month. I'm saving money. So for you people who say, oh, I'm poor, I don't have the money to do it. I'm saying if you're poor, all the more reason to start doing this. You'll have more money left. People say, well, Al, I need a lot of this, but I smoke. Well, you got to stop smoking. If you're going to continue to smoke or whatever, I'm telling you, you're in big-time trouble. Not even the algae may save you. But if you get on an algae-intensive program and take a lot of this, it will change the electrical circuits in your brain and give you some physical feelings of feeling better and everything, that your body will make it easier for you to stop smoking because you have the algae or their diet helping you want to quit automatically. Try it. Try my program, $35 for 2 weeks supply. And I'll set you up. That's it. Watch some of the other tapes I have here and have a good time. Give me a call if you're interested in something. I got a lot of stuff here. Merry Christmas.